Two brothers, one melody. No Man's Land, December 24th, 1914. Western Front, Belgium. 9 o'clock at night, Private William Bradford sat in the frozen mud of the British trench. His hands were numb, his feet were wet. Around him, 50 other soldiers huddled against the cold. Above them, stars filled the winter sky. Beautiful, peaceful, a complete lie. Because 200 meters away, across no man's land, the German trenches waited. And in those trenches, men just like him, cold, scared, waiting to kill or be killed. William closed his eyes. He tried not to think about tomorrow, Christmas Day. A day of death, probably, day of orders and bullets and screams. But then, something impossible happened. From across no man's land, from the German trench, a sound drifted through the frozen air. A melody. Pure, clear, unmistakable. A violin, playing Silent Night. William's eyes snapped open. His heart stopped. Because he knew that melody, he knew that touch, he knew the way the bow moved, the way the notes sang. He knew that violinist Heinrich, he whispered, his brother, London, England, summer of 1910, 4 years before the world, would burn. William and Heinrich Bradford were not identical twins, but they were brothers, same mother, different fathers, born 6 months apart, raised together, inseparable. Their mother, Eleanor Bradford, was English. Elegant, a piano teacher at the Royal Academy of Music. William's father had been an English officer, killed in South Africa before William was born. But Eleanor had traveled to Berlin, to Vienna. And there, she had met a German conductor named Klaus Hoffmann. They fell in love. Heinrich was born. The boys grew up in a house filled with music. Piano, violin, cello, here. Every evening, Eleanor would play, and the boys would listen. And then, when they were old enough, they picked up instruments themselves. William chose the violin. So did Heinrich. By the time they were 15. They were playing together perfectly, as if they shared one mind, one heart, one soul. William on first violin, Heinrich on second. Together they made magic. You are not brothers, their mother would say, smiling. I'm one musician in two bodies. They performed at local concerts, small venues, church halls, garden parties. People loved them. Two young men, barely more than boys, playing with the passion of masters. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? A journalist once asked William on stage. William said immediately, with Heinrich. Always with Heinrich. Heinrich nodded. We are a pair. Like hands. One without the other is incomplete. But in 1914, the world decided to test that theory. August 4th, 1914, Britain declared war on Germany. The news came on a Tuesday afternoon. William and Heinrich were in the music room, practicing a Vivaldi piece. Eleanor burst in, newspaper in hand, face pale. War, she said. Britain and Germany. We are at war. The violin notes died in the air. William looked at Heinrich. Heinrich looked at William. That is politics, Heinrich said slowly. Not us. We are musicians. We are brothers. But Eleanor shook her head. Heinrich, your father, he is German. You were born in Berlin. The authorities, they will notice. She was right. Within a week, German nationals in Britain were being watched. Suspected. Some arrested. Klaus Hoffmann, Heinrich's father, sent a telegram from Berlin. Come home. It is not safe there. Come home. Heinrich did not want to go. Okay. This is my home, he said. With William. Quit with mother here. But the pressure grew. Police visited their house. The neighbors stopped talking to them. Someone threw a stone through their window with a note. German spy. I have to go, Heinrich finally admitted. If I stay, they will hurt you. Hurt mother. I have to go back to Germany. William grabbed his arm. No. We stay together. Always together. We will, Heinrich promised. This war. It will be over by Christmas. Everyone says so. I go to Berlin. I wait. And by January I come back. 6 months. William, that is all. William did not believe him. But he nodded. The day Heinrich left, they stood at the train station. Heinrich held his violin case. William held his hand. Play for me, William said, one last time. Heinrich opened the case. Right there, on the platform, he lifted the violin to his chin. And he played Silent Night, Their mother's favorite carol, the Song of Peace. People on the platform stopped, listened. Some cried when the final note faded. Heinrich lowered the violin. "I will play this again," he said. "Tear for you, I promise. This war will end, and I will play this for you again." The train whistle blew. Heinrich stepped aboard. William watched the train disappear into the distance. He never imagined it would take a battlefield to hear that melody again. By December 1914, the war was not over, it was just beginning. William had enlisted in the British Army in September. He was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, Royal Fusiliers, Infantry. Basic training, then shipped to France, to the trenches. The trenches were hell, mud, rats, disease, cold that went into your bones and never left. And always, always, the knowledge that a bullet could find you at any moment. William had stopped playing his violin. He had brought it with him, packed carefully in its case. But every time he opened it, he thought of Heinrich, and he could not bear it. "You play?" asked Corporal Davies one night, seeing the case. "Used to," William said. "Why stop?" "Because music is for peace. This is war." Davies nodded. "Fair enough." But William still kept the violin close. It was the last piece of his old life, to life before trenches, before death, before his brother became the enemy. Because that was the cruelest joke of all. Heinrich was not just in Germany, he was in the German army. William knew because a letter had arrived in November, forwarded through the Red Cross. Neutral mail, allowed even in war. "Dear William," it read, "Care, I have been conscripted. I am now a soldier. I am in Belgium. I do not know where you are, but if you are a soldier too, please know this. I will never shoot at you. Even if I see you, even if they order me, you are my brother. That is stronger than any war. I still have my violin. I still remember our promise. I will play for you again. Stay alive, your brother, Heinrich." William had read that letter 100 times, and every time he wondered. If he saw Heinrich across the battlefield, could he shoot? Should he? He did not know. December 24th, 1914, Christmas Eve. The day had been quiet, no shelling, no attacks. Just cold, thus, just waiting that as evening fell, Corporal Davies came down the trench line. "Orders from command," he said. "No offensive action tonight or tomorrow. Unofficial truce. Let the men rest for Christmas." The soldiers murmured, "A truce. On Christmas, do not trust it," Davies added. "Germans might be planning something. Stay alert." But as the night deepened, something strange happened. Across no man's land, the German trench began to glow. Lights, candles, dozens of them. The Germans were placing candles on the edge of their trench. "What are they doing?" Sohn whispered. "Christmas," another soldier said. "They are celebrating Christmas." And then the singing started. German voices, deep and strong, singing a carol. "Steel Knot, Silent Night." The British soldiers listened. Some joined in, singing in English. The melody rose into the winter sky. Two armies, singing the same song. And then the violin began. William heard it immediately. The melody was perfect. The touch was unmistakable. It was Heinrich. He stood up, his heart pounding. "That is my brother," he said aloud. Davies looked at him. "What? That violinist? That is my brother." "Heinrich, you are mad." "No, I know. I know he's playing. That is him." William did not think. He climbed up onto the trench edge, standing in the open, exposed. "Bradford, get down," Davies shouted. But William did not move. He stared across no man's land, and he shouted, "Heinrich." The violin stopped silence. Then, from the German trench, a voice, "William." William's throat tightened. "Heinrich, it is me, William." And then, impossibly, a figure climbed out of the German trench, tall, thin, holding a violin. Heinrich, William, jumped down from the British trench. He started walking across no man's land, across the frozen mud and barbed wire and craters. Heinrich was walking toward him. Behind them, soldiers from both sides watched, silent. Stunned, the two brothers met in the middle. In the space where men died, where bullets flew, sparse, where war ruled. But tonight, there was no war, just two brothers, staring at each other. And then, they embraced. William felt Heinrich's arms around him. felt the violin case pressing against his back, and he started crying. Not from sadness, from relief. "You are alive," William whispered. "So are you," Heinrich said, his voice breaking. I thought I had lost you. I am here. We are both here." They held each other for a long moment, and then Heinrich stepped back. He opened his violin case. "I made a promise," he said. "Kay, I will play for you." He lifted the violin. Kay. And right there, in no man's land, he played Silent Night. The melody floated across the battlefield. Soldiers from both sides listened. And slowly, one by one, they climbed out of their trenches. British, German, walking toward each other. No guns, no violence, just men. Approaching each other, meeting in the middle. They shook hands, they shared cigarettes. Someone produced a football. A soccer match began. Soldiers laughing, playing as if the war did not exist. For that one night, it did not. William and Heinrich sat together on an old ammunition box, side by side, watching the men play. "This cannot last," Heinrich said quietly. "Tomorrow, they will order us back." "I know. But tonight we are brothers again." "We were always brothers," William said. "War cannot change that." Heinrich smiled, sad, tired. "I wish I believed that." "Believe it, Ki. No matter what happens, no matter what they make us do, you are my brother. Always. Always," Heinrich repeated. They sat in silence, watching the stars, listening to the laughter, knowing it was temporary, knowing it was precious. At midnight, a German soldier began singing. Others joined him. Then the British, carols in 2 languages, harmonizing, blending. William turned to Heinrich. "Play with me." "What? One more time. Play with me." Heinrich nodded. He lifted his violin. William pulled his violin from his coat. He had carried it with him the entire time, just in case. They tuned quickly, and then, together, they played Vivaldi, the piece they had been practicing 4 years ago when the world fell apart. The soldiers fell silent, listening, as 2 brothers played as one. Gas music filled the battlefield. As, for just a moment, humanity won. December 26, 1914. The truce was over. Orders came down at dawn. Return to positions. Resume hostilities. Kret. Any soldier fraternizing with the enemy will be marshaled. William and Heinrich said goodbye at the edge of no man's land. No long speeches, no tears. Just a handshake, a hug, and a promise. "Stay alive," William said. "You too," Heinrich replied. They walked back to their trenches, back to their sides, backs to being enemies. For the next 3 weeks, the front was quiet. No major attacks, just the occasional rifle shot, artillery at a distance. But on January 15, 1915, the orders changed. British High Command ordered an offensive, a push to take the German trench line. Full assault. William's battalion was at the front. At dawn, the whistle blew. Keek, over the top, advance. William climbed the ladder, ran into no man's land. Rifle ready? Around him. Soldiers charged, shouting, screaming. The German machine guns opened fire. Men fell, blood sprayed. Mud exploded. William kept running, zigzagging, dodging. He was halfway across when he saw a German soldier rise from the trench ahead, rifle raised, aiming at him. William raised his rifle to finger on the trigger. And then he saw the face. Heinrich. They stared at each other, 20 meters apart, rifles aimed, fingers on triggers. Knitter fired. Around them, the battle raged, but in that moment, they were frozen. Shoot him. Someone screamed behind William, "Fire!" A German officer yelled at Heinrich, but they did not move. And then a shot rang out, not from William, not from Heinrich, from somewhere else, a sniper or a stray bullet. No one ever knew. The bullet hit Heinrich in the chest. He dropped his rifle, staggered, fell backward. "No," William screamed. He ran, not toward the German trench, toward Heinrich. He dropped his rifle, ran through the gunfire. Bullets whizzed past him. One grazed his shoulder. He did not stop. He reached Heinrich. Dropped to his knees. Heinrich, stay with me." Heinrich's eyes were open, struggling to focus. Blood soaked his uniform. "William," he whispered, "I am here. You are going to be fine. I will get you help." "No." Heinrich coughed. Blood on his lips. "No time. Do not say that." Heinrich reached into his coat, pulled out a folded piece of paper. A letter. He pressed it into William's hand. "For Mother. You will give it to her yourself." "No." Heinrich's voice was fading. "Tell her I played. One more time. Tell her we played together." "Heinrich, thank you, brother." His eyes closed. His hand went limp. William held him, in the middle of no man's land. In the middle of the battle. He held his brother and screamed. A British soldier grabbed his arm. "Bradford, we have to go. Fall back. Q." William did not move. "Bradford." Finally, he let go. He stood, numb, empty. He stumbled back toward the British trench, dragging himself through the mud. The battle ended an hour later. The British retreated. German line held. 50 men dead, hundreds wounded. And William Bradford, covered in his brother's blood, sat in the trench and stared at nothing. January 16, 1915. The day after. William opened the letter Heinrich had given him. His hands shook. "Dear Mother," it read. "If you are reading this, I am gone. I am sorry. I tried to stay alive. I tried to come home. But war does not care about promises. Please know that I was not alone at the end. William was with me. My brother, my other half. Tell him he must live. He must play. He must carry our music forward. Because I cannot anymore. I love you. I love him. I am sorry. Your son, Heinrich." William folded the letter, put it in his pocket, next to his heart. And then he opened his violin case. For the first time in months, he lifted the instrument, placed it under his chin, drew the bow. He played Silent Night. In the trench, soldiers stopped, listened. Some cried. William played the entire piece. Every note perfect. Every phrase filled with grief. When he finished, he lowered the violin. "For you, Heinrich," he whispered. "This one is for you." The war continued for 3 more years. William survived. He fought at the Somme, at Passchendaele, at 100 other places where men died for yards of mud. He never stopped carrying his violin. And once a month, he played always the same song, always for Heinrich. In 1918, the war ended. William returned to London, to his mother. He gave her Heinrich's letter. She read it. And then she held William. And they cried together. "He wanted you to play," she said. "He wanted you to carry the music. I cannot play alone, Mother. We were a pair." "No," Eleanor said firmly. "You are never alone. He is still with you. Every note you play, he is there." William did not believe her, but he tried. He picked up his violin. And he played. It was painful. Every note reminded him of what he had lost. But he played anyway. Because Heinrich had asked him to. Because it was the only way to keep his brother alive. December 24, 1920, 6 years after the Christmas Truce, William stood at the edge of a cemetery in Belgium. Commonwealth war graves. Rows and rows of white headstones. Thousands of men, buried far from home. He found Heinrich's grave. A simple marker. Heinrich Hoffmann, German soldier, died January 15, 1915. William knelt, placed his violin case on the ground, opened it. "I kept my promise," he said aloud. "I kept playing. For you. For us." He lifted the violin. And there, in the cold winter air, he played Silent Night. The melody drifted across the cemetery. Across the graves of British soldiers and German soldiers, enemies in life, equals in death. When he finished, William lowered the violin. "I miss you, Heinrich. Care every day. But you are right. Music is stronger than war. Love is stronger than death. You are still with me. And you always will be." He stood, placed a small candle on the grave, lit it, and then he walked away, carrying his violin, carrying his brother's memory, carrying the music that had survived the war. Years later, William became a music teacher. He taught young students in London, violin, piano, cello. He never spoke about the war, never told them about Heinrich. But every Christmas Eve, he would play Silent Night, and his students would listen, and they would wonder why their teacher always cried during that song. One day, a young girl asked him, "Mr. Bradford, Why do you cry when you play that song? William smiled. Sad, tired. Because that song reminds me of someone I loved, someone I lost, and someone who taught me that even in the darkest places, music can still shine. Who was he? My brother, William said. My other half. The girl nodded. She did not understand, but she would. One day, when she was older, when she had loved and lost. When she learned that some bonds are stronger than anything, even war, even death. William Bradford died in 1965. He was 70 years old. He was found in his music room, violin in his lap, bow in his hand. He had been playing one last time. On his desk, a letter addressed to his students. Music is not notes on a page. It is love made sound. It is memory given voice. It is the way we speak when words fail. My brother taught me that. Carry it forward. Play, not for fame or glory. Play because it matters. Play because someone, somewhere, needs to hear that beauty still exists. And when you play, remember, you are never alone. Every musician who came before you is playing with you, sir. Every note is a bridge between souls. Keep playing, keep loving, keep living. Be, because that is how we win. Not through war, but through this. Through music, through humanity, through each other. At his funeral, his students played violins, cellos, piano. They played Silent Night. For him, for Heinrich, for all the brothers separated by war, except for all the music that survived. And somewhere, in the silence between the notes, two brothers played together again, as they always had, as they always would, because some things are stronger than death. Love, memory, music, and the bond between brothers. This story is dedicated to the memory of the Christmas Truce of 1914 when, for one brief moment, humanity triumphed over war. When soldiers became brothers, dead, when music played in no man's land, and when the world remembered what we are fighting for. Not land, not glory, but each other, lest we forget.